James Cameron's Terminator 2: Judgment Day is not just a sequel, it is a landmark moment in science fiction cinema that elevates the genre with its blend of thrilling action, groundbreaking visual effects, and surprisingly emotional storytelling. Released in 1991, the film picks up years after the events of the original Terminator with a story now centered on a teenage John Connor destined to become the future leader of the human resistance against the machines. Arnold Schwarzenegger returns to his iconic role, but with a twist this time. He plays a reprogrammed T-800 sent back in time to protect John Connor rather than kill him. The transformation of his character from relentless killing machine to guardian, and even a kind of father figure, adds emotional depth that few expected from a film in this genre. Schwarzenegger brings a quiet strength to the role, and despite having minimal dialogue, he commands every scene with his imposing presence and surprising nuance. Edward Furlong as young John Connor is a revelation. His performance is natural and relatable. He brings a mix of rebellion, intelligence, and vulnerability to the character, giving the audience someone to root for. John is not your typical action movie kid. He hacks ATMs, escapes foster parents on his dirt bike, and somehow manages to teach a cyborg what it means to be human. His interactions with the Terminator are some of the most memorable in the film, especially as they evolve from fear and distrust to genuine affection. Linda Hamilton returns as Sarah Connor, but the difference between her portrayal in the first film and this one is nothing short of astounding. She is no longer the scared waitress running for her life. She is now a hardened warrior driven by nightmares of nuclear annihilation and the responsibility of raising the future savior of mankind. Her physical transformation is remarkable, but what really stands out is her emotional intensity. Sarah is traumatized, isolated, and completely consumed by her mission. Hamilton plays her with ferocity and pain, and her performance adds layers of complexity to the character and to the film as a whole. Of course, a hero is only as good as their villain, and in Terminator 2, the T-1000, played by Robert Patrick, is a chilling antagonist. Unlike the bulky, intimidating T-800, the T-1000 is sleek, fast, and terrifyingly efficient. Made of liquid metal, he can morph his shape, regenerate from damage, and disguise himself as anyone he touches. The visual effects used to bring this character to life were groundbreaking at the time, and they still hold up impressively well today. The T-1000 is not only a technological marvel, but also a perfect embodiment of unstoppable terror. He rarely speaks, he shows no emotion, and he pursues his target with cold precision. Patrick's performance is restrained and menacing, and his presence in every scene creates tension that never lets up. One of the film's greatest strengths lies in its balance of action and emotion. The set pieces are iconic and unforgettable. The chase on the Los Angeles freeway, the escape from the mental hospital, the assault on Cyberdyne headquarters, and the final confrontation in the steel mill. Each sequence is brilliantly staged and executed. The practical effects combined with early computer-generated imagery create a visual spectacle that feels both grounded and futuristic. Every explosion, every crash, every bullet feels real and urgent. But beneath the adrenaline is a story that asks deep questions about humanity, fate, and choice. The film does not just entertain, it makes you think. It explores whether the future is fixed or changeable, whether machines can learn empathy, and what it means to be human. Sarah's voiceover reflections give the film a poetic tone, especially when she ponders whether a machine can be a better father to her son than any human ever was. The relationship between John and the Terminator becomes the emotional core of the film. In teaching the machine not to kill, in explaining the value of life, John in a way saves the Terminator's soul, and the Terminator in turn saves John more than once. In one of the most touching scenes, the Terminator learns why humans cry and admits he now understands, but can never do it himself. That moment hits hard precisely because it comes from such an unlikely place, a machine learning compassion from a child. The cinematography by Adam Greenberg is both gritty and beautiful, capturing the heat and haze of California and the cold steel of industrial spaces. Brad Fiedel's haunting score, with its metallic tones and somber theme, adds an eerie beauty to the narrative. It builds atmosphere and enhances the emotional moments without ever becoming overwhelming. James Cameron's direction is masterful. He paces the story with precision, balancing character development with thrilling sequences. He crafts each scene with care, whether it is a quiet moment between characters or a chaotic battle with explosions and gunfire. He also demonstrates a deep understanding of how to use visual effects not just as eye candy, but as tools to serve the story. What makes Terminator 2 Judgment Day truly timeless is its relevance. The film's themes of technological advancement, artificial intelligence, and the potential dangers of playing God are more pressing now than ever before in a world increasingly driven by algorithms, automation, and robotics. The questions this film raises feel prophetic. It is not just science fiction, it is a warning wrapped in a thrilling blockbuster. The supporting cast also deserves praise. Joe Morton as Miles Dyson, the scientist unknowingly responsible for the rise of Skynet, brings humanity and depth to a character who could have easily been one-dimensional. His realization of the consequences of his work and his sacrifice in trying to stop it is one of the film's most powerful moments. Dyson is not a villain, he is a man trying to make the world better, who learns to late what his genius will cost. The ending of the film is both hopeful and heartbreaking. The Terminator chooses to destroy himself to ensure that his technology cannot be used to create Skynet. It is a selfless act, and one that underscores the growth of a character who was once nothing more than a tool for destruction. As he is lowered into the molten steel, his final gesture, a thumbs up, has become iconic. It is a goodbye that says more than words ever could. Even after more than 3 decades, Terminator 2 stands tall as one of the greatest sequels in movie history. It expands on its predecessor in every way, with better characters, deeper themes, and more ambitious storytelling. It is thrilling, emotional, and thought-provoking, and it set a standard for what a blockbuster could be. In the years since its release, many films have tried to replicate its success, but few have managed to match its balance of intelligence, heart, and spectacle. Terminator 2 Judgment Day is more than just an action movie. It is a meditation on humanity seen through the eyes of a machine, a story about how we shape our future through our choices, and a reminder that even in a world of steel and fire, there is room for hope. Whether you're a fan of action, sci-fi, or just great storytelling, this film is essential viewing. It captures the imagination, challenges the intellect, and touches the heart, all while delivering some of the most memorable scenes in cinematic history. Terminator 2 is not just a movie, it is an experience, and one that continues to resonate across generations.